Would you make a film that no one would want to see? Here's why you should on the Film Squad podcast. So creatives define success in many different ways, but I doubt very many of you will say that it's making art that nobody will ever see. As filmmakers, we're ambitious and have dreams of walking in the footsteps of great cinematic heroes. We work to become better at our craft, sacrificing everything just to get a little bit better, a little bit closer to our goal of having our films noticed by some of the greats and respected. However, we end up making films in the dark, in our heads, until we eventually give up. And this is the truth. I've done this so much over the past. What usually happens at each stage of production? So let's think about it. You come up with your story idea and you tell all your friends about it. You're gonna ask them if they thought it was good, do you like it, etc. And would they watch it in the theater? What are they gonna say? They're probably gonna be like, if they're your good friend, they're gonna say, yeah, I totally watched that, man. Like, that's my jam. So you get to working on the screenplay. Maybe you even send it out to some trusted people to review it, and they're gonna tell you the same thing if they're your friend, like, yeah, that was good. Since this is all a lie, you're gonna believe them, and then you're gonna get a cast and crew together and shoot the film, and you're gonna have, in all your production meetings, you're gonna be talking about how to more or less ensure the success of your film. Do we know any noteworthy actors, DPs, or producers? Now you've finished shooting and editing your film. You got it all done. And you're trying to find a way to bring attention to your film. So you set up a Twitter account and a Facebook account, trying to get, a few big hitters to retweet you. You see if you can partner with some celebrities or social media influencers, companies, film organizations to help you generate the buzz around your film that you have in your head. Here's a question you really gotta ask yourself. What do you do when everyone around you tells you that they wouldn't watch what you wanna make? They think your idea is stupid. It's awful. Do you continue to make it and follow your vision, or do you scrap it aside? So what if you didn't know anybody with a following to help you get people talking about your film? What if your Twitter, Facebook accounts failed to help you get people talking about your film? What if your film existed only in your head? What if nobody ever ended up watching your film ever because you were too afraid to make it? The question I have is, would you still make it? Because this whole podcast is why you should make it. There's artists all over the world that have been told that their art sucks, and they have been committed to their craft and have made stuff anyway because there's somebody out there that will always enjoy what you're trying to put out and will always be able to relate to your stuff somewhere in the world. Maybe being talented or having the most Twitter followers is not the key to success. Maybe it's being passionate about your craft. If you make films just to make films because you love making films, then who cares what people think about your film? You're doing it because you love it. And that's the most important thing about being a filmmaker as your job. Clinging to the desire to see your film play in a big audience will more often than not result in disappointment, since the probability of that actually happening is so slim. But now in today's world, you can make your short film and you don't have to put it in a theater to have a huge audience, because we have the internet. We have Facebook Live, which you can premiere your short film. We have Vimeo, which you can sell your short film or put it up there for free. You have iTunes, Apple TV, which you can sell your product on there, or YouTube. You'll probably make more money as a small guy distributing your film on these platforms than you would trying to get it in a big theater. You'd probably lose money doing it that way. So here's a little tip, guys. The reason why I'm getting at this is because even though he's not a filmmaker, he's an artist. You'll probably know who I'm talking about. He's a great icon, and when it comes to successful losers, he's one of the biggest ones, because he spent over 10 years in obscurity before he actually made anything that people wanted to see. During his short career, he created roughly 900 paintings and 1,000 drawings. That's an average of 200 pieces per year. Now that's an artist who loved his craft. His name was Vincent van Gogh. He's like one of the most famous painters, and nobody wanted to see any of his work, but he did it anyway because his love for the craft. So This is me telling you guys to go out there and just shoot your film, because having a short film is better than someone who has no film. At least you're a step ahead of everybody on that process. So I hope this podcast has taught you guys something. Please follow us on Facebook Live or YouTube or Twitter or Instagram, wherever you are viewing this podcast. Or if you're listening to it on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, please hit a follow to help support this podcast and keep us running. And thank you so much for tuning in. And have a safe quarantine.